Hey guys, welcome to another Chess Master stream video. Today we will do Calculate Like a Grandmaster part 6. And since I haven't done puzzles for a while, I will go specifically slower and it should be more easier for beginners to understand and maybe improve their own puzzle solving skills as well as chess skill. So let's go with puzzles. Alright, it is black to move. You guys can always try to solve this puzzle on your own by pausing the video. So, what do we have? A queen and a pawn. They have 2 pawns and a queen. So we're down a pawn. Should be an easy way to draw. But since our queen is kinda caging their king on the side of the board, well, it could make its way out someday. I think we could try to do some shenanigans here by forcing a queen's trade. Imagine here a queen e7 with a check, and obviously white's queen is not defended, so they would capture. That comes with a check, so I would capture back. And now it's time for them to push the pawn. Well, I could push my pawn as well, right? Then they go, I go, they go, I go, and so we roll. Both of us get a queen, but they're first one who can deliver a check. Usually first one who checks might be winning. So what if I go queen e7 with a check, they capture our queen, I capture back, and if pawn rolls down, I'm still in their square. So I can, whenever you're in square, you can capture. You can kind of make it in time to capture the pawn. So after queen trade, let's imagine there's no queens and my king is on e7. They push the pawn, I can still push my pawn. Their king is out of our cage, obviously, so they cannot catch us. Well, if we are here, even worse for them. So our square is a lot further away. Alright, so next move they can push, and I push. So if they push, I can come in, they come down, and I come here. So they will have to push the king. I can keep pushing my pawn. King comes down one more time, and in this case I don't push the pawn, I block their pawn. So now let's imagine there's no queens on board, my king on g8, their g-pawn on g7, their king on h6, and our pawn on a3. The only thing they can do, since they cannot catch our a-pawn, about the queen, they can push their pawn. So I roll, they go, and I queen. And with that queen, also king being on g8, I will be able to capture their g7 pawn. I think that's a win. So, excuse me. Another thing, let's assume we trade queens again. So no queens and king on e7. What if they push this guy? I just go with that. Yeah, well, my king is just where it has to be to block their e-pawn, so let's go for it. Alright, so they're trying to catch our pawn. But this guy ain't moving one square. Let's say we go here. King comes in, keep moving, king can never catch us. So the only tricky part here was that the pawn can move 2 squares, and for experienced players, that's not even so tricky. Okay. So you can't catch this guy. Alright, we solved this one. And if you managed to solve it as well, feel free to write it down in the comment section. Puzzle rating was 1800, a little below 1900, and pass rate 57%. So let's move on to the next puzzle. Let's see if we can calculate like a grandmaster today. And whenever I find myself off the game for a while, it's way more harder for me to calculate. So in this case, what do we have? We have strong bishop. They have strong light square bishop. We have a nice battery over here, so most likely losing that b pawn unless we do something about it. And immediately what I could see is bishop c6, kind of hitting the queen and skewering the bishop. The only way to move that queen and defend the bishop would be on e2. And with that said, knight can capture the queen, so there's no way for them to defend the bishop. So let's say I go here. What are the queen's options? I'm gonna highlight the squares queen cannot go to. Something like this. So we only have 3 options. Alright. Another thing I'm concerned about, what if bishop c6, let's say queen e3, bishop takes bishop, and then some knight move. Discovery. Oh, okay, well my knight is defended well. Yeah, basically queen sidesteps or whatever. They will attack my knight twice, but it will be defended twice since I have already moved my bishop, so queen can defend. I think that's that. I don't know how this stops. Okay, so we have 2 options how to recapture, right? And one of them is right and the other one is wrong. So let's say we capture with the bishop. Now, take a, oh, okay, maybe none of the capture options are right. And what if hit the knight and they capture our knight? So we capture the bishop. They capture. We capture. So bishop takes and pawn takes. So a lot of capturing. So let's say they get the knight, that's 3 points. So we take theirs. I mean, I had to recapture back with the bishop. So we get 3 points back, they get 3 points again, so they're plus 3. Now bishop takes, and pawn takes. So in the end, it seems to me quite equal. So can we think outside of the box here? Well, obviously there's nothing about that king. King is relatively safe. And I'm not seeing a good knight move. I mean, probably moving knight is not the best. So I'm gonna just quickly check. Bishop takes, queen takes. Yeah, well, taking the knight is not the best. So I feel like it's e6, but that's not winning stuff. Well, let's do the pawn count. So they have 6 pawns, and we have 7 pawns. So that's that. So if we trade all the pieces down, you have to be able to see what happens after smoke clears. A pawn up takes, takes, queen takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. So a lot of captures. I was also looking for ways to hit that queen, but this, well, I could try for that, because the rook is defending f-pawn, so queen would have to move. So what square for the queen? Well, if queen leaves this knight, I can just capture, so it seems that queen f4 is only move. And if queen f4, I mean they're kind of leaving the knight, so let's try this. Oh no. So, wow, puzzle rating 2372. That's actually one of the strongest puzzles I have ever attempted. And the pass rate only 27.9%. Okay, let's try my e-pawn idea. So, in this case, I can actually capture with a pawn, hit that queen. So queen has to move. Queen moves. But what next? Oh, I was calculating bishop takes, queen takes. But I can just take here. Because bishop will grab this guy and I will get the queen. They will grab that guy, I will grab this guy, they will move sideways, I will take that guy. Okay, a lot of takes, but yeah. I somehow overcomplicated this puzzle, but whenever there's a lot of pieces on board, it's not that easy. So moving on to the next one. Hopefully you were able to solve the previous puzzle. And here, since the bishop left the back rank, so it's black to move, by the way, it's kind of a discovery to our queen, so it's a double attack. And what could we do? We can capture, and if they capture, we get a queen. So we would be up a bishop. But we do the body count, we have bishop, both of us, and white has the knight. Means we're still not kind of winning stuff. And the other idea, what if I take the rook first, because that comes with a check, so I kind of have to recapture. I take the bishop, and the queen is trapped, or is it? Well, queen can always sidestep by capturing back. Also, well, we could just grab a pawn, right? That just drops the rook. So if we capture, I mean, that might be the only way to get out of this fishy situation. Capture. They might as well just go for the rook, then we must go for the rook with a check. They recapture, we take that. So in this case, it seems to me that we are just gonna get a piece back, which we have lost somewhere along in this game. And there's also this move. But what good is it since our queen and the rook is hanging? So if we take the bishop, rook is no longer hanging and the queen is hit. That should be way stronger. Alright, well, let's try. And in this case, most beginners will just recapture straight away. But if you take the queen, they will take your queen and we're down a rook. So the idea is to take the queen with it. I mean, take the rook with a check and get the rook here. So with this, we are up a rook. Alright, puzzle rating only 1600. Wow. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Calculate like a grandmaster, part 6 continues. So, we have a pin here. I always like those pins. So, I was thinking something like that would be nasty. Or even queen takes, and maybe in a good day, pin that queen to the king. You know, pin it to win it, right? And what else we can do? Well, it might be possible to play bishop f6, kinda hit that knight twice. That would continue like rook takes, king takes, and note that no queen d8 check, because bishop still guards the d8 square. So I don't think that's the best. I do feel like I should just move that bishop somewhere, just to prepare my battery against their king. And if we look at the pawns, it's an equal number of pawns, but we have a fast c pawn. There is a no pawn that could take it, like from sides. This guy is not fast because f pawn could capture it at some point. So this guy is a runner. Let's say we trade all the pieces down, and if I can manage to activate my king in time, it should. Well, it might be a draw, but it could be a win as well. Depends what opponent does. Okay, pin it to win it, right? So what if we do that? Knight can no longer move, and even after rook trade, we can just capture that knight. And important is to capture with the queen, because if bishop leaves d8 square undefended, and our king will be on f8, this comes with a checkmate. So let's say king is here, queen comes down, and just checkmates. King has no escape. So let's try. Okay, so they add an extra defender. So let's try to remove the defender. And one of the ideas might be a rook f to d8, killing that queen. And queen has to maintain defense of the knight, or else it will be lost. So, what if queen goes on a c-file? Also, it could pop back, because that would kind of defend this guy as well. Because if queen doesn't defend d-pawn, I mean e-pawn, sorry, I can capture with a check, and then bring my rook in, and three pieces would be hitting this knight, which would be pinned to the rook. And note that no checkmates, because I can always escape. And what else we could do? I think I have to bring the rook in. Yes. Okay. So to defend. And what now? This is not a straightforward move. Maybe I just don't see it. So let's say, I mean, it is straightforward. Wow. I just have to take the knight. Now, just with which piece? Let's say I take with the queen. I could take here. Well, I could go with the check, so that's fine. Queen or a bishop. So if bishop captures, they kinda can pin it. My queen. But I can unpin with a check again. Oh well, my queen is just so strong. So we have two good moves, but one of them is not working. So in these puzzles you must be able to see a good move for your opponent as well, which is sometimes might not be that easy. So let's pretend we are white now and black takes our knight. Here. I don't see a good continuation for them. Takes, maybe takes back. No double attacks as well. Oh, yeah, I can't see anything wrong with it. I could go for a hint, but that just gives me the move straight away. Oh wow. Remember in the beginning I told you I haven't done puzzles for a while. And this explains why. Because I don't know why I was considering queen captures, it just, that loses a queen. So, okay, well, let's get that brain warmed up, I see. Okay, let's move on to the next puzzle. So, as I mentioned before, this one is not on time. This one is just to be as correct as possible. So, kind of walk your way up slowly. And here, white to move. We have some tricky business going on over here. And our queen is hanging. Let's not forget that. So, their king is wide open. That means we could try to start an attack. And one of the one of the most forcing moves might be bishop e6 with a check. I'm gonna draw some arrows so you can see which squares are taken away, and knight also takes away f and h7. So after bishop check, there's only legal move, king f8, which gives us an opportunity. First of all, if king here, we can fork queen and king, and also we can try to check again, remembering that bishop is here guarding squares, and if queen hits all that, also here, so that means king would go up. So if king on e7, so let's do it again. Bishop comes to e6 with a check, king to f8, now queen to h8, and king comes to e7. So how can we finish this? Bishop here, guarding squares around, queen making a nice cage for a king. So there is actually one more king could run away if we hit another check somehow. So the move would be over here. So what if queen comes back and checks the king? So all these taken. Bishop covers everything. Oh, I mean here. So so again, could run or go back. If king goes back, let's say over there, we would have bishop check maybe, and if king in corner, queen check. So king maybe up, Oh, that's tricky. A lot of trickiness. So what if I just give that check? King moves, and I hit another check. So whenever king moves, I just give them queen's check and then pick up their queen. Wouldn't that just work? So let me slow down a little bit in this position, because I was calculating queen h8. But what if queen f6? So again, only legal move on the side. And well, we have this bishop check. So king runs, and where's checkmate? Queen back with a check, maybe? So king runs in the corner. Alright, so we have a king here, bishop here, and queen here. And that's a checkmate. Yes. Let's do it again. Queen f6, king e8, bishop f7 check. Well, if king... Okay, let's finish this line. King d7, only move. So queen e6 check, only move. King e8 and queen e8 checkmate. But if queen f6 check, king sidesteps, only legal move, and the bishop f7 check, king could go back. So let's say queen is on f6, bishop is on f7, and king is in its position. It's white to move. How do we checkmate? So what if bishop hops back? Oh, wait a second. Bishop, queen, and king. King is trapped, so that's checkmate. Also, that's checkmate. A lot of checkmates, guys. So I think this will win. Oh, so we're going for this line. Alright, well, it feels really good to be able to calculate this all the way through. And I really hope you were able to solve this one as well. Because this was beautiful checkmate. And the trickiest thing is that you can calculate so much more deeper when there is only forced moves. And often opponent who is defending is not really calculating that deep, since they're really not putting that much effort in defending as much as attacking. And with that said, this puzzle rating was 1929 and the pass rate 35.2%, because there were some tricky moves, and this is the reason why I stopped after first move, because there was multiple good options and I wanted to make sure I can see it through. So we solved 4 out of 5 puzzles. Overall, I think it's really good. We missed that 2300 puzzle. I hope you can see it. Yeah, you can. So in this case here, well, we can retry. Can we try it again? Play problem. Okay. They call it a problem. I call it a puzzle. So stop. Stop. Alright. Now I hope I will remember that. Yeah. I should have just paused after. Oh, okay, I made this move because my idea was just when queen moves away and I get that knight. Okay, well, mistakes were made. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.